show it right now.
I like this bit. I thought that was going to be the bit where he starts crying. CeeLo Green, Forget Ya. Alright, we've got to go. Got a really interesting programme tomorrow. Simon Le Bon's going to be on, and also we're talking to former Wham manager Simon Napier-Bell about a new George Michael documentary. It's a bit of an 80s flavour. We'll see you then. Good evening.
BBC News at 5 o'clock. This is Nikki Cardwell. NATO leaders have promised to step up their support for Ukraine. Judges have ruled that the High Court should reconsider its decision to allow doctors to end life support treatment for 12-year-old Archie Battersby. And cancer charities and doctors say the legacy of Dame Deborah James will live on. NATO leaders have promised unwavering support for Ukraine at a crucial summit in Madrid. They've pledged to step up political and practical backing for Kyiv and have again condemned Russia for causing immense human suffering. In a virtual address, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told the NATO leaders that his country needs more than £4 billion a month to fight Russian forces. He warned that Vladimir Putin's invasion would not stop at Ukraine.
This is not a war being waged by Russia against only Ukraine. This is a war for the right to dictate conditions in Europe, for what the future world order will be like. This is why it is absolutely necessary to support Ukraine, even now, with weapons, finances and political sanctions against Russia.
Judges at the Court of Appeal have ruled that the High Court should reconsider the case of a 12-year-old boy who's receiving life support treatment. The parents of Archie Battersby had appealed for his case to be heard again after a judge concluded that he was dead. Matt Graveling reports from the Court of Appeal in London.
Archie Battersby's family celebrated as it was announced that their appeal against a ruling made earlier this month was allowed. In the previous hearing, a High Court judge considered evidence, including MRI scans, before ruling that the 12-year-old's brain was dead and doctors could remove life-supporting treatment. But today, the barrister for Archie's family argued that more prominence should have been placed on the child's best interests rather than whether or not he should be declared dead. The case will be reconsidered by the High Court next month.
A 29-year-old man has been remanded in custody charged with the murder and attempted rape of Zara Alina in East London. She was walking back from a night out in the early hours of Sunday morning when she was attacked on a street in Ilford, 10 minutes from her home. Zara Alina's family said she was a carefree spirit with a caring heart who believed that a woman should be able to walk home. The Labour MP Harriet Harman has been elected as chair of the committee considering whether Boris Johnson deliberately misled Parliament over lockdown parties at Downing Street. The Cross-Party Privileges Committee, which is made up of 7 MPs, has issued an appeal for evidence, including from people who wish to remain anonymous. Our political correspondent Jonathan Blake has more.
The committee is at this stage in its investigation issuing an open call. They say that they're seeking witness information and evidence, including evidence of Mr Johnson's knowledge of the activities in Downing Street and the Cabinet Office under COVID regulations, and any briefing given to or inquiries made by Mr Johnson relating to those events.
A senior royal source has confirmed that millions of pounds in cash donations were paid to one of Prince Charles' charities, but it hadn't happened since and wouldn't happen again. The comment came after the Sunday Times reported that a former Prime Minister of Qatar had handed Prince Charles around £2.5 million in notes over 3 separate meetings between 2011 and 2015. Clarence House insisted that all correct procedures were followed. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge say the legacy of Dame Deborah James, who's died at the age of 40, will live on. As a presenter of the BBC podcast You, Me and the Big C, Dame Deborah campaigned for greater awareness of her condition and raised millions for charity for cancer research. Professor Peter Johnson, who's the National Clinical Director for Cancer at NHS England, says she made a massive difference.
She was out there, wasn't she? She was tremendously upfront about all the things that people don't usually like to talk about, like blood and poo and bowel habits and all those things. She was just a really lively, engaged, thoughtful person who made a difference and will have made a difference to so many lives by the work that she's done.
The food giant Heinz has stopped supplying Tesco with most of its products in a dispute about pricing. Baked beans, tomato ketchup and tomato soup are among the items understood to be affected by the row. Tesco has apologised, saying it hopes to resolve the issue soon. Tennis, and at Wimbledon, the defending champion Novak Djokovic has sailed through to the third round, beating Thanasi Kokkinakis in straight sets. The British men's number one, Cameron Norrie, is currently level against Spain's Home Munar at 1 set each. On centre court, the British women's number one, Emma Raducanu, has lost the first set against France's Caroline Garcia. And the weather, showers easing for most areas this evening, but more rain will sweep north over eastern parts of the UK and overnight. Lows of 14 Celsius in London, 12 in Cardiff, 11 in Belfast and Edinburgh. BBC News, it's 5:05.
Nikki, hang on a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you Sarah Cox, BBC Radio 2.
And thank you very much, Mr. Steve Wright, for a lovely jaunty wave that I got there. Thank you very much. Variety of waves, yes. Occasional hand signal. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to your always winning Wednesday tea time extravaganza. And talking of winning, well, you've hit the jackpot. I'm going to play you all the top tunes. Expect a full house of fabulous big hits and impressive bangers between now and 7. There's features that will make you first over the finish line of fun times. And of course, you text us whether you're working on your vegetable plottery, by the pools, on holiday, or looking at your signed picture of Michael Spot the Ball. Let us know on 88291. As it's a Wednesday, there's Jukebox Jam plus first and last a half hour and Crimp Your Bob for the Sarahs plus something fishy, a new vet. I'm excited. Kevin's excited.
Whoa.
Here we go.